So today, my friend, I wanted to talk to you about another self-belief that I think needs to be discussed because it brings a lot of challenges when you're trying to redefine meaning in your 30s. And before doing that, I would like to tell a story. So a few months ago, when I was with my husband, we went to pick up my son as usual, and my husband said, "Let's go to the park." I was like, "Yeah, good idea." Like sunshine, it was sunny, everything was fine. So why not tiring him a little bit so it makes it less difficult? And when we were heading to the park, in the middle of the street, when cars were passing super fast, like there were kids around us and everything, I came up with that huge idea, like my brain, like a light, like, well, no, this is not the sound of a light, no, it's like a thunderstorm. Let's say a thunderstorm happened in my head, and I had this amazing idea that I had to do absolutely right now, an idea that could help me get rich and monetize myself online. And I had this urge, like this freaking urge, that I absolutely needed to go and talk to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT, my friend, could actually help me to know if that idea was good enough to pursue or not. So while we were in the park, I has head down on my phone asking him all possible questions, like all possible questions. I was asking him, what does my audience want? How much money can I make? Is it even possible? Please tell me that it's possible. Give me data that proves that it's possible what I'm trying to do, and that will prove that I will not fail. Like, I really needed him to validate my idea. I needed it. And while I was doing it, and after like 45 minutes of talking with him, and my husband actually being mad at me because I was not paying attention to anyone, having kids screaming around me, but I could not even hear because my head was so into that ChatGPT, I decided to save the doc. And when I saved the doc, I put it in a folder, and that same folder, I found 20 other doc like that, like 20 others. And I realized at that moment that fuck, it's been months that I'm doing that. It's been months that I'm incapable of taking a decision because I need to go to talk to ChatGPT and I need him to validate my ideas. It's been months that I cannot do anything because I'm too afraid what could be the next step. Because I'm too afraid that I'm not aware of what could be the next step. There's a difference. I'm too afraid of not knowing what could be the next step and not knowing what would be the outcome of everything that I'm trying to do. And this is why I say that knowing your next step in life is the biggest scam of all. Because by having this belief, you feel that if you're not sure that your next step has a certain outcome, if you're not sure about what could be your next step, then it's better not doing anything. And you just don't do anything to change your situation. And that is the worst thing that you could do if you think about it. That is the shittiest thing that you could do, because you just remain unhappy until the end of your life. That is shitty. And I think that there are three reasons. I actually give you like a few bunch of insights to you, my friend, of why I keep believing that what I'm saying is true, that realization actually come true. The first reason is, in every aspect of your life, you will never know what will happen. This is true. You never know what will happen. My own mother, when I decided to get married, she told me, "Love, marriage is like a poker game. You will never know who is your husband. You think you know him right now, but in 40 years, that same husband that you married when you were in your 20s or your 30s or whatever age might not be the same in the next 40 or 50 years. So it is truly a poker game. The outcome is never sure. Same, you go to work, you have comfortable job, of course, you're certain of the outcome. You stay there forever and ever, right? It's easy. Laid off. Yeah, bitch, you got laid off. And that happens quite often. Or then, health. Yay, someone gets cancer, someone has another mental issue, or anything that can basically disrupt the life that you're living in. So what is happening is, like, you're already unhappy in the situation where you're in, and then the other life things, there are other events that happens and that disrupt that same life that actually you hate it on the first place. Not hate it, let's not exaggerate, but it did not make you happy. So no matter what, you can never know what happens. The second is that belief comes from the core of our childhood. It comes especially on high school, actually not even childhood, on high school, at high school. Because when we're in high school, and it's funny because I talk to many people around the world. So I'm from France, but that thing that I'm saying is exactly the same one to everyone in the world. When you go in high school, especially then at university, they ask you that you need to be certain about the university you're going to choose. You need to be sure where you're going, because the career that you're going to choose is going to be the one that is central to your life for the next 40 years. So you better know what is your next move. And that is a fucking asshole thing to do. because it pressures us when you're in your 20s. It's the worst pressure that you can have when you're in your 20s, because they're asking you that you need to be sure about your career, first of all. Then you need to be sure about the person you're going to get married, about which country you're going to be, the friends that you're going to have, the political party that you're going to believe in, or yeah, I think that's really good. Are you going to have kids or not? You know, like the pressure that they give you that you need to have everything figured out in the 20s, you know, it's very big. Like you need to know in your 20s what are your next step. And because of that, when you reach your 30s, when you reach your 30s, then two things happen. Not three things, but the third one are the unicorns. I call them the unicorns. The one that everything happens exactly as they wanted to and everything happens correctly for them. They marry the right person, they're in the right country, and they have the good job. Good for them, honestly. But then you have two teams. And the other team, you have one team that did not get married, that has no children or anything, and they feel behind personally, maybe even professionally, but because they have the feeling that when they reach the 30s, they're supposed to have it also the way they're feeling behind, you know, like they have this anxiety, like I don't know what to do next and I didn't even reach this milestone. And then you have the other ones who might be actually married and have kids and everything, but still are not happy neither about the whole situation. And they also have another part of the guilt because they're thinking, wait, but I have, supposedly I have it all, why am I still not happy? So at the end of the day, the two sides have something in common. They are anxious because they have no idea what will be the outcome of their life, and they're unhappy about the situation. Yay! So that comes from childhood. Yes. And third, that kills the what if. What happens with the what if? What happens of not knowing, you know, the excitement of not knowing what you could do later, no? Like, I really believe that. Because I'm not talking about the what if, like, I have done, or what if I chose that job over another one, or I'm not talking about that. Because this is the past, this is regrets. Please don't do that, my friend. This is not good for you. But I'm talking about the what if as future possibilities, opportunities. What if, without even doing huge big life transition of a what if I go and live in Australia, but let's start small. What if I change department? What if I change the building where I'm living in and I want to move it out somewhere else? You know, like I'm saying random things, but the what if I try guitar? What if I would try origami? And obviously, it's not coming with random ideas, because if you come up with this type of thinking, it means that it was inside you, but you're giving yourself the possibilities of what if I do that and what could happen? You know, it's pretty exciting. And you start with that and then it can go bigger and bigger. Like, what if I open a company? What if I try to do YouTube channel right here? What if I create my own YouTube channel for absolutely no reason? But you know, it's pretty exciting of not knowing what could be next. So I also think that it kind of kills that moment, and that is kind of sucks. You know, that's lame. It is. You know. So that's another thing. Do I even? I've been cleaning that place now that I'm talking. So what I'm doing right now, what I'm actually trying to do right now, is first of all to accept that uncertainty is a friend and that uncertainty is part of life. To accept the fact that yes, knowing the next step in life is the biggest scam of all, and I'm not falling into that. And even more, to accept that maybe the right thing to do is just to know what is the direction to take. That's it. So right now, I quit my job. I quit a job that was making me unhappy. I quit a life that was making me unhappy. So I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I don't know where I'm going. Like, is it really working? Am I doing the right format? Am I targeting the right audience? Am I even going to find a job thanks to the skills I'm learning from YouTube? You know, like I have no idea what is happening. But I feel that I'm going to the right direction. Now, when you're in the 30s, obviously there's kind of like a timing, like tick tack, tick tack, you know, like tick tick tick, that is there, and it hurts my heart every time I hear it. So, time is always here, obviously, and I think to calm kind of the mind and the heart, the best thing is sometimes to put a deadline. You put a deadline. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try it for 3 months. So you put a sort of experiment with yourself, and after that 3 month, things are not going exactly as I want. I pivot, I iterate, I change, I do something. But at least you're not remaining in the same position that you were. You might not be sure about, you know, the exact step that you're going to take, but at least you know you're going to a right direction. And by doing this, if you're going too far, it avoids the fact of going too far. Because by putting a deadline, at least you don't have that feeling, but what if I go too far? And then I just hit myself on a wall, and then I'm miserable, and then my brain is going to be in red alert and telling me, but what the fuck are you doing with your life, you loser? Yeah, put a deadline. So at least your brain might not try to sabotage you again as he's doing, or being on the floor crying about every bad decision that you've taken in your life. No, put a deadline. That could also help. So that's what I'm doing. That was my realization of this week. And I think that this one is actually a very important realization. Go to the right direction. Just follow the process, but just be certain approximately if you're in the right direction. And if you were not in the right direction, it is okay, my friend, because it's still data. Data is data. And it allows you to know what you didn't like and what you like now. Anyway, bye, love. Yes, I called you love. You heard me well.